Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Daily D. Today's topic is emotions or emotion. So emotion is a natural instinct or mood derived from one's past experiences, relationships, thoughts, witnessed events. And so really what it means is an emotion is a reaction based on your previous experiences in a similar situation. This is something that is learned, if you will. Emotions are learned. And the reason that this is important to understand is that emotions really are an important part of life. Having emotions is a very natural instinct. It's just very natural. It's fluid. We should have them. And to suppress your emotions is probably one of the hardest things to do when somebody is hiding their fear or their hate or their anxiety. These are emotions. And when somebody hides those or doesn't show those, what they're doing is they are really like a pot of water boiling, and if you put a lid on it, eventually it's gonna boil over. And the reason is because, well, you have to let some of these emotions go. Now, when I think about emotions, I think about all the times that I've used emotions to make a decision or to speak my opinion, and it comes out in a negative way, or it ends in a negative result. How do I know it's negative? Well, because after I'm done doing it or saying it or using those emotions, I regret it. Have you ever regretted saying something or doing something or acting a specific way? Well, typically it's because you used emotions to make a decision. And typically that decision wasn't necessarily something that you naturally did because you were born this way. Typically it's because you learned it through witnessing others act this way. Like, have you ever met somebody who's just always screaming when they talk or yelling? Or someone who is always very aggressive no matter what you say to them? You know, that reminds me of when I was in the bar business. You could always tell when somebody just got out of jail when you would look at them, and I don't mean in a negative look, I mean just like look at somebody to see what they're doing or up to, and they say, "What are you looking at? What you looking at, bro?" Right? You see, that's an learned emotion, and it's aggression. It is a fear learned by them that somebody's about to attack them. So what that means is they've got to get defensive. You ever met a mom who everything around them is going to hurt their kids, right? So every time something happens, it's like, be careful, be careful, be careful. Yeah, that's an emotion. Let me protect you. Puts their arms around them, coddles. Those are emotions. So you can see that emotions play a big role in our decision making every single day. And I would tell you that the best thing about emotions is that they show our true feelings. The worst thing about emotions is that they're learned through experiences or through witnessing of others' experiences, and we may have not learned them correctly. And so what that means is that we may act inappropriately, we may state inappropriate things, we may not do the right thing because we're allowing emotions that are learned to interrupt what needs to be done. So how does this all relate together? Let me give you some thoughts here, right? So I believe that you should use emotions for feelings, but not for decisions. You see, I believe you can use an emotion to trigger an opportunity for you to think. So let me give you an example. If you feel like you're about to be upset about something with somebody, let's say your significant other, ask yourself a few questions before you get upset. And some of these things you should be asking yourself are, why am I upset? What did they really do wrong? What can I learn from this? How could I best react to this? How can I prevent this from turning into an argument? How can I stop myself from saying something that probably I would regret later? You see, if you ask yourself just a few questions, you'll make a decision that's not based on emotions, but it'll be based on logic. You see, many people do a lot of things based on emotions. They invest their money based on emotions. They make very hasty buying decisions when they're under emotions. I believe that's the only reason people buy today is really based on emotions. I feel like I need it. I feel like I want it. I feel like I need it now. Emotions really, if not controlled, what happens is the emotion controls you. And when emotions control you, what it really means is that you have no control over your life. And not having control of your life is a very scary thing. And I don't mean because you're not making the decisions, because you definitely are making the decisions, but you're allowing your emotions, sometimes we'll call it heart, is making more decisions than your brain. Now, I'm not always going to tell you that I make decisions based on logic or through careful thought or consideration, but I'll tell you that if I understand it well enough, it protects me from some of the big decisions that I could make wrong. It protects me. It forces me to think about the things that really could impact me negatively, and it prevents me from getting harmed. I found, when I really found this out, when I really understood it, it was early on in my actual relationship today, with my wife, where instead of trying to communicate or talk with her about certain things, I would just get angry, or I would use, raise my voice, or go cold, or go silent. I used to do those things, and I did those things not intentionally. I saw or witnessed those things, I guess, in other family experiences, and so I just used the same tactics, but those aren't the real right ones, right? And so today, the difference being now, every time I'm about to get upset or I feel like something's wrong, I don't just automatically get upset and fight. What I really try to do is understand what's going on. So I ask myself those questions, like, what seems to be the problem here in my mind? I don't say it to her. I say, what seems to be the challenge? Why do I feel this way? What should I say or not say? How do I convey what I really believe without making it about me? I really work hard to make sure that I make a decision not on emotions, but based on what is logical, what makes sense, what's right? We're all going to have agreements, right? And it could be with a business partner, it could be in a relationship, it could be with a friend, it could be with a coworker, it could be with your boss, it could be with anybody. We're all going to have disagreements, right? We're not going to all agree on something. But I'll tell you this. If you choose to have communication that frees itself of emotions, to make decisions that better suit both parties involved, you will have such a better quality of life. I hate when I read an email where you could feel sarcasm. I hate when I read an email or a text when I can feel threatened, right? You know why? Because that emotional decision that they're using to make that email or produce the email or the text, what it really tells me is they have no control over their emotions, and they will make rash decisions that may not be very good for them or for me. So sometimes we lose it, so we're not all perfect, but here's what I'll tell you. Life is going to be a challenge, and if you don't learn how to control your emotions, it's going to be even more challenging. It's really going to be a painful life, because you're going to go from challenge to challenge to challenge, creating more controversy, losing more money, creating worse opportunities. It's going to be bad. So let me end with this. Emotions do a lot of things for you. Emotions are very powerful. And what emotions equal are really feelings, right? So think about the things that you need to do today, and ask yourself this: why don't you do those right away? The things you need to do. What are some of the things you need to do, right? We need to get something done at work. We need to do something at home. We need to do something for ourselves, like work out. We need to do something about the way we eat. Why don't we do it? Because we don't feel like it. Right there and then should tell you that you need to make a logical decision, because the feeling of not doing it is exactly why you need to do it. You're not being logical. You're using emotions to make decisions. I don't want to get up. I'm too tired. I don't feel good. I can't cook healthy. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to work out. I don't have a gym membership. I can't go to the gym. I don't have time. I have kids. These are all emotions and reasons to back your emotions. All right. I hope this helps you make some better emotional decisions today. I really wish you nothing but health, wealth, success, but most importantly, freedom. Thanks, guys.